What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Created Studios podcast. I'm your host with the most, Jordan Mode, and today we have an amazing conversation and an amazing guest. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome multi-award-winning Grammy producer, engineer, and musician, the one and only Zach Allen. Zach, thank you so much for being here today, man.
Thanks, Jordan. Thanks for having me, man.
I hope I nailed that intro.
I don't know. You can always go dub it if you need to, I guess.
You know? Oh, man. So, Zach, I know you and I just met today.
Yes.
And I know to my audience, they may not know who you are, but do you mind kind of giving a brief background of what you've kind of done? You don't have to dive into detail yet, but like just kind of who you are and what you do.
Okay, so I'm a music producer, engineer, and mixer primarily. I've been in Nashville, Tennessee since 2007. And I've worked all over. I've done probably per capita more country music than anything, but I've had most of my success in the blues Americana world with artists like Kingfish, Keb Mo, a little bit of Buddy Guy, but I've dabbled and worked with all kinds of people you can see on my site, and just been very fortunate. So mixing songs, produce all the things. You know.
I love it, man. Yeah, and obviously that's kind of what I want to talk about today is your journey in music. Because on the Created Studios podcast, we bring any type of media, professional who comes in, and we just want to know how you got to where you were and like what are the struggles you had along the way. You know, we've had filmmakers, podcasters, producers, A&R. It's really a little bit of everything here, and we just want to be laid back and have fun. And so let's dive into it, man. Like, what was when you were first starting out in music? Like, what got you into music? Like, was it a certain band or artist, and like what made you want to pursue it?
It's funny. So I was 24 when I first went to Full Sail, which is when I believe the pursuit really started. So I just, looking back, I didn't come from a musical family at all. I mean, I wasn't really around musicians or singers much. I kind of just, a lot of times I say music found me in a weird way. So in 7th grade, I got my first acoustic guitar. I kind of played guitar, I mean, I knew like Wanted, Dead or Alive, that riff. And I was always ready for the bam, 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 bam. And I was like, yeah, dude, I got this, or the old don, 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 don. I got this. I'm him now, But anyway, I just kind of learned some songs. And then I wrote my first song, which hopefully will never see the light of day, and like it's my senior year. And so I had a pretty bad accident in a mosh pit, I believe it or not, 3 days before I graduated high school. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I've never told this on any of the other, not the Full Sail ones anyway.
Okay.
But so I was hemmed up that whole summer after I graduated high school. I couldn't work.
Wow.
I kind of had no direction because I was big into sports, and like when that ended, I was definitely not fast enough or big enough, I think, to play at the next level. When that kind of ended, I just didn't really know what to do, and so I had that guitar, and through the summer. And so we had talked before we recorded, we're both into like hard rock, that was new metal. And so like the screamy stuff, I mean, I was all into that. Plus I was the jock, football player, wrestler.
Oh yeah.
Once I got knocked out and blindsided by a biker in an empty pit, I was like, maybe I need to try this hippie thing for a while, Like,
we've all been there before.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to give Dave Matthews, Fish, Widespread, give them a shot, kind of like peace and love, brother.
Yeah, man.
And so anyway, I just started learning Dave Matthews songs and started kind of getting into him. And I wanted to be Dave Matthews, to be, not so long-winded, because I mean, I don't talk about this part of the journey. Not many people know the struggle of me at this point. They know what I've been able to accomplish. But
yeah.
So anyway, I did that, and I kind of became the guy in the corner of the bar that would play cover songs 4 hours a night,
Okay.
But I always played the B-sides. I played everything
the good stuff.
I wasn't playing no Don't Stop Believing, You weren't going to see that in my set. I don't know if it was good stuff or not. It was good stuff to me. And I would throw my bad original songs in there as well. So anyway, this went on more or less for 4 years or so after high school. I went to community college. I had a couple girlfriends or something, you know, and just did the thing. But I wanted to start a band, could never find the right ingredients, could never find the right pieces that, and more than anything, couldn't find anybody that had the same passion that I had.
It's hard, especially in the music. Like trying to find 4 guys, 5 guys that link together on one idea is almost impossible.
And I think now with the internet separating us as a species the way it has, I think the idea is that's why you don't see as many bands, because you know, you don't have like putting ads in the paper. And you know, I am the age where I saw both things. Like I got internet in my house in 11th grade, so I'm young enough to like know about internet and but also experience the other side of it.
That's a good point though, because like I remember back in the day when you get like Guitar World or like Revolver, there would be like a metal ad, like a musician's ad placement section there, and like I think about my band now that they're all over the world, like the country. Like my guys live in Philly, North Carolina, and like we've been putting this on for years, traveling and doing this. And like, man, 20 years ago, that would have been unheard of.
Well, and even the educational, like YouTube. I mean, we had to do tabs. I mean, like you couldn't. You had to understand the left hand, but like understand the timing of I mean, it was really hard to learn. I mean, everybody's got it so much easier now. So, long story, you know, I do this for 4 or 5 years, not finding anything. Had just broken up with a girlfriend one day, and sorry, hopefully they can. You know, I just got distracted for a minute. It's so freaking loud. Anyway, I know they'll be able to dub it. So I lost my train of thought.
Oh, it's okay. We were talking about just band life.
I know. Broke up with a girlfriend. Was working at a marina, and this girl one day comes to me and just says, "You should go to Full Sail." And I was like, "Okay, what is that, a boat or something?" You know, like. And I went home and like researched it, and it was pretty apparent at that moment this is what I needed to do. I had nothing going on. You know?
Let me ask you this, because everyone's kind of different when it comes to Full Sail. Like that, what was the ultimate thing that drew you to it?
I think it was a place that I saw, like, I didn't understand this when I was 24 years old, but now looking back on it, I think it was a place that I saw where it's like, okay, there is a path to this. I can take passion and turn that passion into a living, breathing, burning thing and use that. And like, I don't know anything. I didn't know what a CPU and a computer was, but I know if it can be worked for, I can do it. You know?
No, it's funny because I went to Full Sail when I was 24 too. Was doing stuff beforehand, but like what drew me there was like I almost felt like it just didn't seem real. I thought for a while it was a Ponzi scheme. I'm like, I keep getting all these informations in the mail. I'm like, there's no way it looks like this. There's no way. And then I finally go there, and I remember going like, oh my gosh, I gotta be here. There's something about this place that it just generates buzz and vibe and like energy and creativeness and like. I mean, even today, I mean, people tell me how crazy it is. Haven't been there in almost 10 years. And
oh, wow, really? Oh,
and I just keep being told how much different it is.
Have you not been since you graduated? Then?
I've gone one time, and I was there for about 5 minutes because it downpoured rain, and we just, we're just passing through. But yeah, I got to go back again and check it out.
It's cool. I didn't go for the longest time, to be honest. And then Katrina found me, Katrina Green.
Yeah, shout out Katrina Green.
Yes, we love her. She's both our reps.
Yes.
But she found me and was like, what are you doing? And I had just started kind of into that next phase of my career, and where things were starting to get decent, Oh, yeah. And she had me down, and I've gone, I think I was the first BTS after the pandemic, like out
really?
Of, yeah. I think
wow.
And I haven't been back since. So I must have said, I'm just kidding. Who knows?
So when you went to Full Sail and graduated, I mean that's the schooling alone for anyone who's never gone to Full Sail. It's grueling. I mean, you go 7 days a week. You're there all day long, and it's meant to be that way. It's real world application. But when you graduated. What was your thought process that went like, oh man, I got to get in the industry, or like, were you just kind of letting, fate kind of decide it for you?
I didn't wait till I graduated.
Yeah. Oh no. Okay.
No, I started about midway through, and I said like, I ain't going to get out of here. I'm a very forward thinking person.
Yeah.
And I think I could see, a situation where I just finish and then go back home and like get stuck there.
Yeah.
And I couldn't let that happen.
Oh, absolutely.
So
man.
I had to. I think it was in I don't know if they have this class anymore. It was a recording mixing consoles class, and
Yeah, they had it when I was there.
And
Yeah.
they talked about, or it might have been session recording even.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it was 18 years ago now. But I do remember all these profound moments there. It's weird that I've only lived in 3 places, but like even though I was only there for a year, it's still a phase of my life.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was different than anything I experienced in Nashville or in Myrtle Beach, where I'm from. But he said, Nashville, L.A., New York. Those are the Meccas.
Those are the 3s, yeah.
I'm from the South, obviously from my accent, so I felt like economically, it's like it is expensive to go to college,
Yeah.
but I was like, I can afford this. I can swing this.
Mm-hmm.
And just culturally, I felt like I would probably get along in Nashville better. I'd never been to New York or LA at the time.
Yeah.
So I felt like that was kind of fish out of water thing. So something was kind of like you said.
Pulling you.
Well, kind of like you said how Full Sail pulled you. I felt the same exact thing, like the day I got there. I felt exactly what you described. But like something also pulled me here as well. Thankfully it did. To go back to that, like transferring back to the Full Sail conversation, I remember the day I went to the BTS tour, and Gary Jones was there, and he talked and did I don't know. He just kind of came up at the end, and I just remember he said, "Your career starts today," and I was like, that just got me so freaking fired up, dude.
Goosebumps.
I was like, let's go, dude. I mean, sign me up. I'm ready, And then I got there, and I was like sending feedback through myself in lab and just blowing my ears out, and and doing all the things. But yeah, man.
It's funny you say that because it's almost like we've lived the same path. Because like when I got onto Full Sail the first day I took the BTS tour, the first thing I'll never forget is somebody was sitting there looking at me and goes, "If you take your dreams seriously, we'll take you serious too." And I was like, well, what does that mean?
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I was like, what does that even mean? And then like I walked through the tour and they kept repeating that. If you take your dream seriously, we'll take it seriously too. And I was like, oh, I get it. Like I started getting like goosebumps.
Yeah.
I was like, I get it. Like you're telling me if I go full throttle, you guys are going to give me full throttle back. And they do. Like, they really do.
I would go and talk to my teachers that on their personal, they had office hours, and I'm sure they still do. And, And I told this story before on one of these years ago, but I remember, I think it was the first Pro Tools class, because I don't know if they still do this either, but they had 2 months of just Pro Tools. And they had said, this is what you need to learn.
Yeah.
Everybody works in this, and that's true. I work in Pro Tools all day. I do, But anyway, so we do a lab, and there was this freak thing, there was maybe 15 instructions, and I think the second or third thing you're supposed to do was to save a copy of the session to a different location.
Okay, yeah.
It was either that or save as, one or the other. But for whatever reason, and I've never seen it since, but I swear on my children that this happened. Let's say it was save copy, it was grayed out. It wouldn't and I was just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so I saved as. Okay, go on, do the rest of the test. I get the test back. I made it like a 5 on it because the teacher's like, well, you
didn't do it.
You saved it in the wrong location, and so everything's wrong, and so you get a 5. And that was just gut wrenching. And I was dead set on getting certified in Pro Tools at the time.
Yeah, I know.
Did you do that?
Yeah, and
that was the hardest thing I've ever done.
My
in
teacher
life.
was Vitren, and I love Vitren. One of my favorite teachers of all time, taught me how to really use my ears in mixing. But you had to get at least an 84 to get your to go apply for it. He gave me an 83. So I literally missed it by a point.
So you had to get, I think, at least a certain level on the classes to even take the test or something like that. And I just went and I said, please. I went and talked to, his name was Mr. Smithers. And I said, man, just can you cut me? Like, and he looked and he was like, well, you got all the other questions right, so I'll meet you halfway. I think he ended up giving me a 45 on the test.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Brought it up to a 45, which is still, like, I got all these other questions right, but I'll take it. And I ended up getting, but that's the kind of thing. He saw that same thing in me that you're talking about. Like, this kid gives a damn, he cares, he wants it, and like, that's, people like, how'd you get? It's, you gotta want it, man.
You gotta want it.
You gotta want it, and do it when you're young, when you don't have kids. I couldn't do it now with kids and a wife. I could not pour what I poured into this in the early days. Just life's too busy, man.
And like you said, even in the early days, there's so much you got to do to get established. Like once you graduate Full Sail, you come out to Nashville, like I did too, and it's like, you're the small fish in a big pond, and it's like you're at the starting line. They go, okay, you're here now.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with it?
Yeah.
And then you're paving this path in this future, and you're like, I'm just taking my shot every day to do better, to do something better, to mix better, be a better, whatever. And then people look at you and go, how did you do this? How did you make this happen? It's like, I put my shoe on just like everybody else, but I grinded for it.
One step at a time.
Exactly.
That's how you did it.
And I think a lot of people like
down the road, brother.
Exactly.
I mean,
and I think a lot of people think like when they look at like they read your bio, and like I think we were talking about right before we got on here, is like people read your bio and they're like, oh my gosh, this guy's done it. This guy's insane. It's like, but there was a lot of work that went into that. It wasn't like just handed to you,
Yeah. And even those achievements, like the process of going through these kind of records, and people don't understand like how much I've poured into the records that I've done. Like, I mean, I've given so much of myself to the records, because nothing gets me juice. Nothing. Not like a big check, not a compliment, not a social media post that gets a lot of likes. Nothing gets me juiced. Like at the end of the day, when I've been working on this song and it's coming through the speakers and it's making me want to get out of my chair.
Yeah.
Nothing does it for me like that.
Oh, yeah.
And just knowing it's like, I have thrown in 10,000 hours. I've probably thrown in 30,000 hours at this point, and to get here, and I'm still not the best. I'm still learning, still trying new things, but man, it's like that's what gets you juice,
I think that's a really important point you just made there, where it's like you're still learning. Just because you've made these achievements, it's like people think, oh, well, he's made it there. He's on to the next thing, bigger, better. It's like, no, in the music industry or the recording industry, whatever you want to call it, it's never stop ending learning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, when I started here, I've learned so many new things I never ever was learned at Full Sail or in my years in working in the industry. And it's like, if the day you stop learning is the day you stop dying. So it's like, you might be really good at what you do, but there's always more to learn.
But isn't there such a I find my self-esteem goes down when I'm not actively pursuing something.
Me too.
Like
that.
Even if it's not in my career. I mean, like we talked about like AI. That's why I'm like a little on the fence about AI. Is like we're training ourselves to be dumber. Is that a good thing? It's like we're using less of our brain. I think it's good for some things, but it's like, like the pursuit of it and just learning things. Now, if we can use it to learn things instead of it just learning everything for us, then I'm all for it.
Use it as a tool, not a crutch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But like, I just find like when I'm learning, when I'm reading a new book or listening to a podcast that's informative or something that I just wanted to learn about, like it just fills you up so much. There's so much more fulfillment than like the redundancy of a job or you know what I mean?
No, 100%.
And we all have to do stuff. I mean, even I have to do stuff all the time that I want to do.
Yeah.
Pretty much every day.
Or it's like a specific job you're working on. Because I'll never forget this day. I had a session once where this kid came in and he recorded all his vocals on a phone. And he goes, that's all I know how to do, but I'm willing to pay top dollar if someone can just make this sound good. Oh. And that was the most challenging thing I ever did, because he wanted
What'd you do?
So I basically threw it onto a session and I go, okay, he's kind of in a rhythmic pattern here, and I would just put it where I thought it worked.
Oh, I see what you're. I
Yeah.
had to do that too. So I had to do that with like a work tape, but she actually paid for me to do a real record with it.
Okay.
But yeah, I know that. Like I've done two. I just did one this year, and man, that is tough because you have to like kind of tap a tempo. I tapped a tempo, and like, okay, that's the cadence. And then I like some phrases she would sing ahead
Slightly
of where it's
off or
supposed to
slightly
be,
ahead, yep.
and it's just like it's a puzzle. And you have to figure out, is she in tune? And like sometimes like she might just be about maybe 5 cents one way or the other.
I know.
And so it's
and you're like nudging it.
is this the
just
right key? And then do you arrange the song in a certain way? And like, I mean, I can't believe how good it turned out, but it's not a gig that.
Oh, I almost never want to do it again because I was
bring
like,
your checkbook for that one.
Oh yeah, you better be opening wide for that one. Yeah,
because it's like it's a little more work than I want to do. Because here's the thing, and it's important for every creative to hear this. Your candle's only gonna burn for so long.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
You've only got so much in you.
Yeah.
So we talked about this.
Yeah.
Protect yourself from those situations. I mean, early on in your career, you got to do anything to build a reputation.
Yes, you do.
But as you go along, don't just take it because it's good money or, you're only got so much. And so, I'm very much on guard about like who I'm giving that part of my soul. At this point in my career, I feel pretty good about I'm doing something right, and so like if I'm going to give that to a project and to a song, it's like you just got to be on guard, and sometimes you have to do things because you have bills to pay,
Oh yeah.
But you try to protect it as much as you can.
When I first got here to Nashville, I remember my first gig was I was a sound engineer at a rehearsal studio, and the guy goes, "Well, do you want to make $500 a week or do you want to make $2,000 a week?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, $2,000. I can actually live off of that." He goes, "Great, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. I call you when you have to come in." And I was like, okay, sounds great. So I'm not married yet, and long distance relationships. I'm like, he's giving me a studio. This is great, dude. I did it for like 9.5 months, and I was there every single day from 9 a.m. to 12 at night, every single day.
What was he doing?
He was off living, doing his thing. He was studio owner, didn't care, just never really showed up. But he was a good guy, but like he just didn't understand how hard he was working me.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember there were so many amazing bands coming through, like all my hair metal legends. I'm a big hair metal guy. Mm-hmm. So like, Tom Kiefer's walking in, John Lodge is walking in, all these guys. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm finally making this happen, And then all of a sudden I just exploded one day. And like I literally had like a panic attack.
Oh,
and I was shaking in the corner, like freaking out. And I remember my girl just going, "You're working too much. You gotta walk away."
You can almost feel your heart explode. I mean, I didn't have something like that, but I've had back spasms. It's just the stress compounds, and like you have to give yourself. This is just advice. You have to give yourself permission to take some time for yourself.
Oh yeah.
Because at some point, you're compromising the work, you're compromising the marriage or the girlfriend or the kids, and you have to get some me time. That for me every morning is exercising. I don't know how I'm doing it, never thought I'd do it, but I'm on the like 5:15, 5:30 train about 4 to 5 days a week now because I've got to get up and get that workout in before I take my daughter to school.
Oh, geez.
And then, which is, thankfully we live right there, so it's 5 minutes,
I've been wanting to do that so bad for so long, but we're here till midnight. I don't get to bed till 2, and I'm like, do I really want to get up in 3 hours?
No, you can't do it. Yeah. Dude, I go to bed at, I got kids, man. I'm putting them to bed like, it's like 8:30. It's like, babe. I'm
Netflix and nap?
I'm there, man. Every now and again we'll stay up till 10:30, but yeah, man. You have to get to sleep, and I'm not a great sleeper historically, unfortunately. That's the one thing I wish I could be better at. You have to give yourself permission to take care of yourself. Otherwise, you're compromising at some point.
Do you find it hard nowadays with, having kids and a family life? And do you find it hard to kind of keep putting in that grind now to kind of keep yourself going in this career?
No, I was talking about this to one of the guys because the kids give you.
They give you the energy.
It's so you're tired some days, sure, and like but like I've always had a way to find ways to motivate myself, and so, but you don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. Like I gotta feed these kids, man.
Yeah.
I gotta pay for this house, and so it's like that's your motivation, and at times, and then other times. There's other things that can.
Oh yeah. One of the
so.
best advice I ever got was from a Full Sail grad who works in video games. He's a mixing engineer, and he said he goes, he's got 5 kids, works in studios all over the country, and he goes, I live on a mantra of if it's not making me money or it's not for my family, I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a really interesting way to put it, because like work-life balance for musicians, producers, songwriters, it is impossible to figure that out, that fine line sometimes.
Yeah.
And but I feel like it is right in front of you half the time. It's just knowing when you need that break or when you need to devote that time to your marriage or your kids. Like that is also very much important in your life. And like Geddy Lee said it best. He goes, music is what I want to do with my life, but it's not my entire life. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of us get caught in it when we're so close to the source that you're just like, oh my God, if I just get another hour in, if I get another 2 hours in, I can get this done and I can sleep for 3 hours. Like, no, dude, take the day off, relax. You can get back at it,
Well, yeah, I mean, I got to a point now, I know I'm not worth a damn if I get like under 4 hours of sleep or 4 hours, I'm not giving myself, it's like, let me grab the laptop and like do some paperwork or something, because I'm not channeling my creativity. I'm not just letting the music flow through me and
absolutely.
Just not even thinking about it. Like just bam, just doing the work. My ears do all the work, and I just all I do is just use my instincts,
Yeah.
And
But that's the most important thing as a producer and engineer is trusting your ears and trusting your instincts, because most of the time it's right.
Yeah, it is.
We're going to take a quick break here with this awesome conversation with Zach Allen, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. And welcome back to the Created Studios podcast. We're hanging out with Zach Allen today on this episode. And before we dive back in, I just want to say a special shout out to one of our other sponsors, FUTUREBEAN Coffee. Some of the best coffee around. If you're in the Franklin, Tennessee area or down in Florida, stop on into your local Walmart and grab a cup. It is seriously the only way I get started here at the studio every day. Move over, Duncan. There's new coffee in town. So Zach, we were talking a little bit off air about kind of the stuff you've done, and you said you had a really great story about working with Buddy Guy. And for some of our viewers here who remembers the episode with John Wise Carver, he talked about how he went on the road with Buddy Guy. But I wanted to hear, because you said it's a great story to hear.
Okay, so I had heard the name growing up, but I had never heard his music. And when I was in the music history class, I don't know, did you still have that when you?
Yeah.
Okay. That I don't think they have it anymore. That was maybe my favorite class.
Such a great class, dude.
Amazing.
Oh my God.
So I think the first episode was the blues, because essentially
the Delta, right?
Yeah,
Mississippi Delta.
I think each class was like a lecture on a specific genre of music.
Yes.
Or maybe some were spread out over 2. I can't recall, but anyway, the blues was very early on, and they go through and they talk all the guys, Robert Johnson.
Oh, I love Robert Johnson too.
They get to Chicago styles, and Buddy Guy comes up, and that. As they would go, they had like little snippets, little minute and a half clips of these guys, so you could kind of hear what you're reading about. And so I was just like, oh, cool. Well, fast forward maybe 2-3 weeks, and Buddy Guy was playing a free show downtown Orlando.
Oh, wow.
And it's I think the Blues BQ or something like that. I don't know how
I love the name.
I remember all these random like facts. It's just beyond me. I don't know. Anyway, so me and like my main core of friends at Full Sail, we were like, yeah, let's go check this out, because we were still in the music history class. It was fresh, and I was just blown away that night. And the second song, I mean, he's just wailing, and I had never seen anybody go into the crowd like he does with the wireless pack. So if this is the stage, we were like along the barriers here, and he kind of goes down. I think the steps were in front. He kind of goes back around, and he's like just playing, just killing it while the band's on stage. He's just doing the thing, going all the way around. And he kind of gets back here, and I was just like, oh, yeah, there he is right there, and he's like kind of starting to walk, and I was like, he's kind of walking this way, and he's like, he's kind of like walking right towards me,
Yeah.
and then he's like right in front of my face, like he's
Like,
on
this
the
is happening.
here's him, here's the barrier, here's me, and I'm looking at him, and he's just like reaching the pinnacle of the solo, like, wait a minute, and I'm just like, oh,
This is amazing.
like I in that moment I believed I was channeling him energy, and I probably was. I mean, like in a certain degree. I mean, that's why you do that, to get the energy of the crowd. And
For
I
sure.
probably I certainly felt like I was. I don't know. It was a moment. He gave me there was just the twink, because he has like a very specific twinkle in his eye,
okay.
and he has a smile that a lot of the most successful people that I've been around, they just have that thing. That and it's just like a special thing it's just a twinkle in their eye. I don't know, but he just looked at me, and I was just like, wow, it blew my mind. And so yeah, I mean, that happened. Well, fast forward, this would have been 2007. I don't know. Probably 11, 12 years.
Wow. So what,
Yeah.
18,
So
19? Okay.
yeah, 2017, 2018, somewhere in there. I was working with Tom Hambridge, who I worked with a lot. He's an amazing producer, the biggest producer in blues. He's done Kingfish, done all the Buddy Guy records for like the last, I don't know, probably 10 Buddy Guy records or something. I mean,
Wow. Yeah.
he writes. Amazing writer, amazing drummer. I love Tom, and so he called me to do Buddy Guy's vocals, and it was just like basically we booked 5 days at Blackbird Studio E.
So it was right over here.
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
okay.
he's done all his records here.
I didn't know
all
that.
the ones with Tom, because Tom lives here.
Okay.
And yeah, man, it was just like, I'm gonna tell him that story. I've gotta fit, but you gotta, you're meeting this guy, so he walks in and, hey, how you doing? I've always been pretty good at like connecting with, like, I don't know. I can read a room. That's such an important thing. Like, how much does this person want me to talk? I can be the coolest guy in the
skill,
room,
man.
or
Yeah.
the least cool guy, the fly on the wall guy that doesn't say anything. And then you just, as long as you're around them, eventually your energy can come through.
Yeah.
But so I think I felt like it was the third day, maybe the second day. I can't recall, but this was the year the Predators were in the Stanley Cup.
Yep. Okay, that would have been
Were you living
2018.
here?
Yeah.
Okay. And
2019.
yeah, somewhere in there. So they were filming. They brought the cup.
Yeah.
There's only one of them.
Yep.
You're a hockey fan.
I'm a
right?
big-time
I'm
hockey
not
fan.
really I don't know much about it, but they brought the cup to Blackbird because they were getting some shots.
Oh,
or
that's
whatever.
cool. Yeah.
So John McBride came in.
Yeah.
And was like, because I mean, he's like,
Oh yeah.
everybody's in all of him. He's like he's your hero's hero kind of a thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And he's like, hey buddy, man, they're bringing over the cup. You want to see it? And he's just like that. And Tom's from Buffalo, and his manager at the time, Max, I don't know where he's from, but I think he's a northern guy, probably Chicago, because that's where Buddy's from.
Yeah.
And we'll see it. And he didn't care about the Stanley Cup. So I was just like, well, Stanley Cup, or this is my time. So
Yeah.
I spent like 30, 45 minutes with him, and just got to ask him about like life, man. And like, I mean, this guy like had the stall.
The
I mean,
history
he lived
on
in,
it, man.
I
Yeah.
mean, he lived in like deep South, in no running water, no toilets,
That
just
Delta
I mean,
blues life.
yeah,
man.
I mean, it's a thing that's like here. You can't, it's like all the best guys that I've worked with, like Keb and Buddy and Kingfish and John Tavius Willis, guys that just like Taj Mahal. My God, I mean, oh my God, like sitting with that guy for a week. Like these guys have a thing
Yeah.
that like you just can't fake. You can play the same riffs, but it's just
There's like mud in the music.
it's a spiritual thing. But so I asked him about that, and then he talked about his book and and all, and I was like, I gotta tell him that story.
You gotta tell him the story. Yeah.
So I told him the story, and he was just like, just had that smile that Buddy has, like his dimples, and he's just like, that's really cool. You know, it was like a share. I don't know. It was just one of those things that I am thankful I got to do.
It's so cool, man. Like that, like to me, that's like meeting like a true hero. Like I'll never forget the day when I got to meet Tom Kiefer for the first time. I was taking out trash at that studio I was working at, and didn't even know it was him. And he's just like, "Hey, man, do you know where so and so is?" And I'm like, "Yeah, well, he's not here right now, but I can help you out." And he's like, "Oh, I'm Tom. I'm here to like check out a studio." And I'm like, why do I know this guy? And then like we're just walking and we're talking.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it just didn't register in my head. And I'm a huge Cinderella fan. And all of a sudden he's like, yeah, my band's getting ready to go on the road with, I think it was like Faster Pussycat. I'm like, I'm sorry, who are you? And he's like, oh, and he like, pulled off his glasses. I'm like, oh, I know who you are. I was like, but like, you can't be that weird fanboy. You got to be cool, you know? And I was like, yeah, man, I've actually seen you like a dozen times. I'm actually a big fan, but you know, and he, you know, I don't want to be that guy.
But show him you're cool first.
Yeah. And I was like, but dude, yeah, I'll happily show you the studio. I know you're here for business, you know, and he really respected that.
Yeah.
And like,
they want to hear it too.
Oh,
I mean, like they show them that you're the best way to handle those situations. Show them that you're capable and like of doing as much as they need you to or as little, you know, because different artists work at different paces.
Oh yeah.
You know, and show them that you got it under control.
Yeah.
And then say, yeah, dude, like I was on your, you know, like it.
Yeah.
Just, you tell them that moment because they make that music. They pour their same heart into that music, you know, and they want people to like it. They want people to listen to it and to appreciate it, you know. And so I know that anytime I've been fortunate and blessed enough that somebody's like texting me, man, like that record you did sounds amazing. Like that's
the win.
That's it, man.
That's the win right
that's
there.
It. Yeah.
Oh, I love that, dude. And it's fun. I think that's something really important that people need to hear is like, again, we talked about it beforehand. It's never about the money in the industry. Even though the money's nice, we always joke about it. Musicians are always, you know, oh, I wish I could make more money. It's like, yeah, we all wish we could make more money. I mean, plumbers, I say that too, you know, but I think that what the important value is the heart and soul is in the right place. And especially in the music industry, like, again, you got to want it really bad, but it's got to be more than just want. It's got to be, this is who you are as a human being. Like,
here's a like bulletin board one for you.
Okay.
Like Kev Mo told me years ago. He's like, if you got a plan B, you'll use it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You're damn right, dude. You know, because I didn't have no plan B when I set out on this journey, and I mean that was just like, yeah. I mean, he's exactly right, and I don't know. I mean, everybody's different. Everybody's different. But I know that like I certainly didn't achieve what I've gotten by, you know, doing it halfway. You know?
Let me ask you this, because this is, and we can start rounding up towards the end here.
We can go as long as you want, bro.
No, I this has been such, I could talk to you for hours, dude. I feel like you're such a good hang. And
well, talk to me. Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Essentially, what I wanted to, I dealt with this myself. I know some people who maybe listen to this podcast have too. It's like maybe not living up to the expectations that you set for yourself. You know, like maybe like when you graduate full cycle, like I'm gonna go make that #1 album. I'm gonna go be this huge, richly successful producer, and then maybe like 10 years down the line, you're like, yeah, I didn't really get to do all of that, but I get to do some cool stuff. You know, did that ever hit you ever? And like, you know, how did you kind of maybe bulldoze through that?
Definitely. And it still does sometimes when you have lulls, you know, because I think we can tend to like look at the cash coming in week to week and, you know, month to month and say, well, I'm not working as much, you know. And a lot of times that's not always true because we know labels take forever to pay.
Oh, yeah.
Publishing companies, you know, that's just, and then some people, the independents will pay you right away. So yes, I definitely have been there and done that. And I found the best way to combat that is to stay present. You know, mentally stay present, you know, focus on today. Because like if you let your mind start drifting to like the future, you can be ambitious, but at the same time, like when you start letting your mind drift towards the future, you build up an expectation for yourself. Not that you shouldn't expect something for yourself, but it can lead, it's that's the devil in my mind.
Oh,
You know
absolutely.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's
No,
the
yeah.
ego that can kind of like just it tells yourself stories, and then like you're living a story and it's not reality. So like in the same the damaging way, you can look back on the past. I should have done this. I should have done that. I should have. I regret this or whatever it is. Or it can kind of lend itself to that, I guess, if you want to call it depression or whatever it is, that just feelings of lack, feelings of I should have done this better. But ultimately, I think it kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier, man. If you are feeling it, from a for me, like you have to just find those things that can fulfill you in your career, depending on where you're at, and like you have to. I almost always have like a song I wrote that I'm working on, even if it's just
Okay.
one, because I need to like. I mean, I'm starting to get some cuts and stuff with some artists and everything, but I'm not primarily a songwriter by any means, but um, just to fill that void,
Yeah.
like so. I think staying present and having something that you're doing that's like you're doing it just you would do it for free kind of a thing,
Exactly.
even if you take less money for it or whatever it is. But what does staying present look like? That's just what am I doing right now today? I
Exactly.
want to give you. Hopefully, I'm giving you a good interview.
No, this has been amazing, man.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
not the best, but I'm trying to give you a good interview. And then I'm gonna go home, and I'm gonna help my kids like get in bed if they need, and love on them as hard as I can in that moment.
And that makes more, and I think that matters so much more
Yeah.
than someone who's, yeah, could I be out there right now throwing my newest record to labels? Yeah, I could be. Or I could be here having an epic conversation with the one and only Zach Allen.
I don't know about that.
Having a great time, man.
Yeah, well, thank
and
you,
like,
brother.
but that's what I mean is like, I think there's more to life than just the artist grind. And I think that's why this is such a great podcast, because a lot of people who listen to this are probably out there like, man, I'm not getting the streams. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. But I'm doing all this stuff and nothing's happening for me. And it's like, it's not about that. It's great. It's great when you have a song hits 100,000. It's great when you have this and that. It's great when you chart top. Cool. It gives you that affirmation. But at the same time, if that's the whole reason why you got into this industry, I'm like, you're doing it all for the wrong reasons. It's about creating music that will last longer than you.
Yeah.
And it's all
that.
yeah.
I couldn't have said it better. Like I came to a realization of like, I think when I got out of Full Sail, I had the dreams, like the big house, the million. I thought I'd been a millionaire 15 years ago.
I think we all
it's
did.
that funny, especially with the industry now. Like if we would have been in the 80s, 90s, it would have been
Maybe,
a different
yeah.
story. Anyway, it's like once I started finding like what is my goal? My ultimate goal is to make music that is timeless, that
Yeah.
lives on past me. You said that really well, and that's when you're trying for that level. Hopefully we can go listen to something in a minute when we're done.
Yeah, I
man.
would love to.
When you're trying for that level of like, I guess for me it's sonic bliss or whatever you're doing, whether you're a filmmaker, engineer, whatever it is, like when you're trying to just get to that top, like there's something beautiful about the journey, and don't be scared of the long road. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, there's something really beautiful about the long road.
Yeah.
Like, even though it may suck when you're on it,
Yeah.
the little wins is what makes the whole world go around.
Yeah.
Like the little wins here and there. Like someone stops you on the street and's like, "Dude, I love that record you made. I don't even know who you are, but I love that record." Or
Yeah.
like, I was at a soccer game a few years ago, and some dude's like, "You're the dude from Hungry and Dangerous." I'm like, "How did you know that? I have like 20 fans." But it's one of those things like that. Like those are the little wins that matter the most, I think, in my opinion. And it's not about the Grammys and stuff, even though they're great, but it is about the journey. And
Yeah, that suck you're talking about is just the rust on the car that's getting waxed off for the shine to come through, man.
Oh, that's so good.
That's the pain,
Oh, yeah.
And I've been through the pain.
The wood shedding.
Yeah, the Grammy. When I look back on it doesn't seem real. It doesn't, and you don't. I don't know how I got here, to be honest. I have no idea. I just know that I gave it all I got, about every day, and it's been a good person, I think, or I've tried to be, certainly,
I mean, I know I just met you today, man, but I think you're a pretty good dude, and you got a great grasp on life. So
Thanks, man. Thank you.
So, Zach, where let's say people who are listening want to find you, follow like your journey, or maybe they want to work with you. What's the best way for people to find you?
At Zach Allen Audio, that's ZACHALLEN Audio, is my Instagram handle, and my website is also zachallenaudio.com, and there's a contact on there, and I'm pretty proud of my website. I know it's a little archaic, but it's just kind of a library. Like, you can go to my site and pretty much see everything that I've done the last almost 10 years in terms of like the records. I've got playlists of like all the different genres I have.
That's awesome, yeah.
So it's a good place to get more info about me and my career. I've tried to kind of keep it up, and like releases, press stuff, so. Dude,
that is awesome. Zach, thank you so much for coming here and doing this today, and coming to check out Create It. I know it's your first time here, and you think it's a pretty cool spot?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, but it's literally an extension of the school. It feels like I'm at Full Sail almost, so.
And that's the vibe they want here. And I mean, if you're a Full Sail grad, or maybe you're just a musician or creative, come check it out sometime, because we're here every day from 11 to 10, and I guess this would be a perfect way to wrap up the episode. Thank you guys so much for coming in and checking out another episode of Create Studios. If you want to see where we make this podcast, come on in, check us out in Franklin, Tennessee. We're here every day from 11 to 10. Or if you want to come in and try one of the free classes, come perform, or try out the studios, we're here to help any way we can. Until next week, for Zach and I, we hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.